Hi and welcome to the next episode in my Citroen Relay van build series, and in this episode, look, the wheel's off. Perhaps I should explain that it is off on purpose because today's the day. It's nice and sunny, it's relatively warm, no wind, so I'm going to have a go at painting my wheels in preparation for my new tyres arriving. Now, I wanted to change the tyres because it just completely transforms the look of the van altogether, doesn't it? So I thought long and hard about what tyre to have. That thought process took all of about 30 seconds, and then, well, it's BF Goodrich, isn't it? I mean, it's the only one there is. That's how we roll. So in preparation for these new tyres arriving in a few days, I thought I'd have a go at painting the steel wheels, because I could go and buy some alloys, but I want to give it a go and see what it looks like, and see if we can get away with using the original steel wheels, because also they're appropriately load rated for the van, and because I'm upplating my van, if I change to alloy wheels, you know, the ones that are suitably load rated, there's not a huge amount of choice, and some of them look blimmin' horrible, so I'm going to give it a whirl. It may turn out to look like a complete horse's ass, of course, and I'm quite open to the notion that it may do, and if so, I'll bite the bullet and get some alloy wheels. But for the sake of a couple of tins of spray paint and some sandpaper and bits and bobs, there's no reason to not give this a try. So without me flapping my lips anymore, let's crack into it. Right, there's the wheel there. I've already given it its first sort of pre-wash with some soapy water. So we've made a little bit of a start on that. And over here on the workbench, as I call it, my glass topped garden table. And look, the glass is still in one piece. It's unbelievable. Right, let me show you what I've got here. This may not be an exhaustive list of everything I'm going to need, but it's kind of what I got in my mind I think I'm going to need. So, all important gloves, some cloth, some rags, a wire brush for cleaning, some methylated spirits to give it a wipe down after we've done the sanding and the brushing. I got some of this auto clean wheels. I'm not sure whether that's going to help me at all or not, but I just put it on the table anyway. A selection of different sandpapers from you know where, and also from you know where. We've got some grey primer and some wheel trim paint in stealth black. Ooh, it's probably crap, but it's okay. Also a toothbrush for getting into the little awkward nooks and crannies, and also to go in my drill, I found one of these. It's a rust and paint remover, and this came from you know, when you're buying tools, you've got a couple of options, haven't you? You've got you know who, you've got your local independent motorist shop, and then you've also got your local DIY store in a town centre which sells all the real cheap crap. Well, that's where one of them came from. That brand now. How that will hold up, I don't know, but we'll give it a whirl. And then some masking tape to mask off the tyre once we've cleaned everything up, with some paper towels or newspaper or something. And of course, the all-important brew. And there's a bit of a disaster this morning, and that is we've run out of tea bags, so I've had to make coffee. It's you know, you sometimes in life you just got to grin and bear it and crack on, haven't you? So that's what we're on today. Right, this is the first time I've done this, so this is by no means a how-to video really, because I haven't done it before. So I watched a few YouTube videos last night of other people doing this, and that, coupled with a little bit of what you like to think is common sense here, we should be alright. And that is, in order to get a good paint finish, the wheel needs to be clean and free from grease and brake dust and all that stuff. It needs to be smooth, so your end result doesn't look like a relief map of the Himalayas. And well, that's about the size of it, isn't it, really? Clean and smooth and ready to rock and roll. So, like I say, I've given it a wash with some soapy water. So the next job is to just clean up these edges here, and around here it's not too bad actually, because of course the van isn't too old. And so wire brush first, and then we'll get on to the old motorized version afterwards. Okay, that's actually just really scratching it. That's not doing a lot of good at all. Right, let's try the motorized one. So goggles first for this one then, because there's no prizes for trying to be macho with this, is there? And you've only got one pair of eyes, so goggles first. It's a fashion statement, I know, but better safe than sorry, isn't it? Actually, I take back what I said about the £4.99 paint and rust remover from the cheap crap shop. That's actually done all right. There's a slight rust ring all around here. It looks like it's where the two pieces are joined together. So that's what took a bit of getting off. Apart from that, it was just a few little blemishes here and there. I think I'm going to leave the wheel weights on and paint over those. I know when I go and have the new tyres fitted, they're going to take those off and put new weights on probably. Obviously for now, between having the new tyres and doing this, I don't want the balance to be all out and me shaking and wobbling all over the road. So what I will do is once the new wheel weights have been put on and I got a little gap there, I think we'll just tidy that up whilst it's on the van. Should be alright, and that'll do the trick. Okay, right, next job is still feels a little rough around there where I sanded it, so sandpaper is the next order of play. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a 400 grit first, and then we'll work our way up to a smooth one after this round. Okay, so we finished the sanding. That went quite well, and I've given it another quick wash, and because there was quite a lot of brake dust on there, we're just now going to give it a good spray off, and then seeing it's a nice sunny day, I'll leave it in the sun for a little bit to dry off before we apply some meths, which is essentially like alcohol rub, isn't it, just to do the final clean. Okay, so it's had an hour in the sun now to dry off after it's wishy-washy, and now we're just giving it a clean with some methylated spirits is what I'm using, because this of course evaporates quite quickly, and meths is essentially a degreaser, isn't it? That's what it's for cleaning things. So I noticed on some YouTube videos they use rubbing alcohol, but I don't see that meths actually is particularly any different to that. Really the same thing, isn't it? Right, next job is to mask off around the wheel here, which is not easy, because I've discovered that this blue masking tape, as amazing as it is for just about every other job you do on the van, doesn't stick to rubber tyres very well. So that's hard work, isn't it? Never mind, we will persevere. Right, I think I'm just about ready to go. So I've prepped up around here. That's a bit of a fight because this masking tape doesn't stick to the tyre very well at all. I know one might argue that because I'm changing the tyres, why am I worrying too much about it? Well, there's no reason for your wheels to look like a horse's ass in the couple of days between doing this and getting the new tyres fitted, though, is there? So we might as well, you know, make an effort to protect the appearance there. So that's all done. I've masking taped the air fill nozzle. The primer is well and truly shaken to death, so I think there's nothing else for it but to give this a whirl. Okay, that's the first one, and so far so good. I'm just checking for any imperfections that I can see, and actually at the moment it's looking all right. I'll give that 2 or 3 minutes just to go off, and then we'll go for layer number 2. Okay, so coat number 2, I've just moved over into the sunny part here, so it just dries a bit quicker. That seemed a sensible move. Okay, so I'm still just letting this dry off. What I've just done actually is I have decided to take the weights off because the way this spray is kind of, you know, enveloping around here. I thought actually trying to do that on the van once the tire's been changed is going to be a right royal pain in the ass. You know, trying to stop the primer and the black from going all over the white bodywork of the van. So albeit with unbalanced and slightly wobbly wheels for a couple of days, which I think I can live with, I've decided to take those off out of the way, and I've sandpapered and now sprayed in that, so you probably can't even tell where they are anymore now, which is spotty dog. That's what we want. Right, give that a couple of minutes again to dry, and then we'll go for the final primer coat, and then we're ready to move on to black, aren't we? Well, that looks horrible now, doesn't it? But you know, got to keep the faith that it'll be all right after 3 coats. So we can crack on. Okay, that's starting to look better. I'm one a bit heavier with that one, so I'm going to give that a good little while to dry before I go for the third and final one. On the third and final one, it's important to make sure you get the inside of these holes all the way around. So that's going to be the challenge with this last one, you know, to get plenty of paint in there, but also not to the point where it starts dripping and look crap. So fingers crossed on that one. Right, it's had its 3 coats. Actually, in fairness, it's had 4. I did an extra little misty coat as well, and it's had a good few hours to dry now. So it's time for the top layer, which is this heavy duty PU lacquer. Don't ask me what the PU stands for, I've no idea, but anyway, it says on the paint tin that it's recommended that this is used as well. So we're just going to blast a clear coat of this over the top. It does say on the back of here that you're supposed to wait 24 hours for the base colour to dry and all that malarkey, but you know, quite frankly, it's had 2 or 3 hours. It's a nice sunny day, and oh, we ain't got time for that, have we? Life's too short. I need to get this back on the van and move on to number 2. Otherwise, this take all blimmin' week. Right, let's have a couple of coats of this with kind of 10 minutes in between, and then I think I'm just about done, and we'll get it back on the van. Oh, and I have also, using the exact same process, I've painted the you know, the insert for the middle there. So what I did is I got obviously cleaned it all up first. Got some sandpaper, some 800 to start with, and gave it a rub over to get rid of the shiny finish, and then some 1200 just to smooth out all that scratching that was going on. And then again we've had 3 primer, 3 black and 2 lacquer on that, so fingers crossed that won't all scratch up when I try and put it back on the van. Right, I'm just going to give that again a good hour or so for it all to dry. So for me that means a nice cup of tea. For you that means well, it's coming up now, isn't it? Right, there we go, back on the van. And I mean, I don't know what you think, do let me know in the comments down below, but compared to the wheel at the back, which obviously hasn't been done yet, which is just a standard issue you know, van silver, that I think looks absolutely banging, and well worth giving a try. You'll obviously have to imagine what that looks like with a nice BF Goodrich all-terrain tyre on there, but you know if you're watching this and you're a van builder, you'll know exactly what I mean by that tyre and what it's going to look like. And then also the other thing that I'm not 100% happy with is these wheel nuts. I've cleaned them up as best as is practicable, but they still don't look great, so I'll either investigate getting some little caps to go over those, or replace them with some new wheel nuts. I suppose having BF Goodrich tyres on here in the future, it'll be prudent to have a locking wheel nut on there anyway to stop some tow rag pinching that. The other bit of concern, I guess, is also, of course, when they change this tyre, as to whether the edge of the rim here is sort of scratched up at all, and it needs a bit of touching up, which would be a nuisance. But we'll see how we get on with that. Actually, I will add one little extra bit to the end of this video, because I've noticed I didn't really put this in the filming for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. You know what it's like, you blast through and crack on with it. But after I did my first initial wash down, I noticed on the inside of the wheel, when I was cleaning that, it was quite greasy and horrible, and on the outside there was a few greasy patches as well. I think what happened on that front wheel, I'd had the CV boot changed, and of course there was some grease and splattering on the inside, and the guy that did it had nice greasy fingers when he put it all back together, so the soap and water weren't really cutting the mustard. So what I did is I went nipped to my local little independent motorist shop and got a couple of tins of this, which is oh, can you see me? Yeah, there you go. Brake and parts cleaner, or brake and clutch cleaner as it's sometimes called. And this was £2.15 a tin, that's all, so it's cheap as chips, this stuff. And so what I did with that is I had the first initial wash down with the sponge, and then gave it a good old spray with this, and you can literally see the grease dissolving and coming off of the wheel, and also this evaporates pretty quickly as well. So a good dose of that as well, and I'm going to use sort of 1 tin per wheel really, but a couple of quid is nothing, is it? And that does a brilliant job of degreasing it. And then after that, move on to the methylated spirits for the final sort of clean up after you've done your sanding and all that jazz, if you see what I mean. So my recommendation, oh, it's getting complicated now, isn't it? My recommendation would be soapy water sponge, brake and clutch cleaner, give it a good spray and a hose down, then do your sanding and get rid of all your rusty patches and all the rest of it, and then methylated spirits finally at the end for your final degrease, if that makes sense. Hope it does. Right, brilliant. So hopefully that was mildly informative to somebody if you're thinking of doing the same with yours. Actually, that didn't look too bad, did it? You know, the jury's out still, and I still might go with the alloy wheels further down the line. But for now, for you know, a few tins of spray paint and a few hours of your time, it's all good. It was interesting. One of the videos I watched on YouTube from Medica said, "Oh, you can do all four tires and wheels in about 2 hours." Yeah, my ass, more like 2 or 3 hours per wheel, and that doesn't include the drying time as well. So I'm not quite sure where you got that from, but still. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe, blah 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 blah, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.